Edochie is a shameless man. He never seems to amaze me. I mean, this guy is like a clown. Like seriously. Why am I saying this? You'll be wondering, why am I saying this about a human being, a man? Why? That is because Edochie does not know when to stop. He doesn't know when to stop. He doesn't know when to apply wisdom. No, he doesn't know. He acts like a child, a baby in the body of a middle-aged man or a grown-up man. That's how he acts. Everything that is trending on social media, regardless of how sensitive it is, regardless of how, how foolish it is, Edochie will jump on it and attach himself to it. That is the problem. You see, when you look at most of these people who act movies and popular people, famous people, and like that, particularly him having that kind of growling voice, and you think that his bald head is as a result of too much wisdom. That's what you would think. But when this guy eventually left that shell, that thing that was covering him, and we saw him like for real, we started realizing that it doesn't have sense. Anyway, I'll tell you why I'm saying this. A young Nigerian artist, upcoming artist, passed away called Mohbad. Edochie jumped on it, attached himself to it, trying to create a kind of sympathy for himself. That's you. When a Nigerian singer, David Adeleke, called Davido, when his baby mamas all over came up with accusation here and there, Edochie jumped on it and said he's not the only one. Can't we see that there are other people too? Well, Edochie recently invented, let me use the word invented, created this so-called Isimili Global Limited, where he said he is into supplies, real estate, contracts. And he said he is the MD of the company. He got some people to print name on a t-shirt, red t-shirt, and he wore this with Judy Austin. Both of them claiming that they are into this real estate of a thing. Because the only way he could float is for him to get into this real estate of a thing. He felt like, well, you know what? Let me just move around and ask for contracts. At least let me connect with certain people who have properties to sell, and I can get some people to buy. Now, there is something about property. Apart from you putting it on social media, you need to have contacts. And when I say contact, you need to have a lot of contact. You need to have rich people that are willing to buy from you, people that trust you. But now, the issue of trust. Who is going to trust Edochie with the way he handled his home, coming on social media to rant? We are not talking about polygamy here. Majority are into polygamy. Yes, majority are into polygamy, one way or the other. Let us be truthful about it. It is the way and manner at which he went about it that got people talking. He kept dragging people into it. Now, Edochie dropped this. He wrote this. He said, if you love me, come and buy property from my company, Isimili Global Limited. Don't wait for me to RIP. Then you start doing justice for Dogu. The best justice you can do for me is to patronize my business. Let me enjoy the justice while I am alive. This is what Edochie wrote. He's trying to connect to the justice for Mohbad, justice for Mohbad. He said that people who love him should patronize him, not after he's no more. So, he's trying to tell us that he's going through a lot, that he's, he wrote this, he talked about this, he said he has been bullied, he has been this and that, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. This guy, were you the one that severally, were you not the one that came on both your Facebook and YouTube to talk, hoping that this was going to get traffic so you can get money? You were the one that came when this was not even up to this point. You came out, you kept talking, When people didn't respond to you, people didn't really buy into what you're saying. They cared less about you. There are a lot of problem challenges in Nigeria. In fact, election and all of that was still ongoing. People were focused on, is it that Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, or is it Bola Ahmed Tinubu? People were more focused on that. You were less of their bother. They didn't care about you. Not until you decided to come up with constant pressure on your fans, on people, trying to draw their attention to yourself, saying that you are like Solomon. Can't we see Solomon? Didn't we see David? There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You kept on pressing. People didn't mind you again. You drew them into it. And they decide to leave every other thing, and they focused on you. And you know what it is. Till date, you are still being dragged. Your foolishness is still showing forth. Everything about you is being rubbished. Now that you came up with a company, imagine the name that you decided to, Isimili. What is this? What is Isimili? If you gave it, I don't know, something, maybe without the milli thing, okay, let's say you put milli, maybe people would think it's million. I don't know. You should have looked for something sensible to give it. But because your actions and your attitude, everything surrounding you, everything that you are doing does not make sense. So obviously it will reflect in the name that you even give your so-called company. So Edochie wants you to patronize him. He said patronize him. Do not in any way after RIP come to talk about justice for Dogu, like, oh, you guys, you have seen what you have done now. He is now RIP as a result of this. He said he got bullied. So I'm kind of looking at it like, if this guy really wants us to believe that he is being bullied, what about May? May, that you and Judy Austin constantly, with Sarah Martins that claim that she has repented, constantly on social media, there is nothing you guys didn't do on a woman who is sitting by her own self. She didn't do nothing. She sat down. She just got a shock of her life one day on social media. Not that you told her. You kept it secret because she's out of that circle. All of a sudden, she woke up to this news on social media about her own life, her journey, her commitment. She got to know about it on social media. So what kind of person are you? So was she not bullied? Was she not tricked? You didn't sit down to discuss this like a man. Like, you know what? This and this is this and that. You just announced it on social media that you have a second wife. May has to be first wife. She needs to be numbered and this and that. You want to introduce your son. You want to do this and that. You started talking, ranting and acting foolish. And you kept on using, or maybe you were being used. I don't know which is which. You kept molesting her on social media. You kept using your son as traffic, your late son. You kept pressing, you kept saying words, you kept pushing, you kept acting, you kept doing nonsense. You even brought out some narratives via some of your minions where you claim that she wanted to attack you spiritually and the arrow fell on your son and blah, blah, blah. You kept saying words. You kept saying that she's this, she's diabolic. And finally, last 2 weeks, you dropped what we were thinking already and what we know. You wrote it down that, do we know what you were going through with me when you were both together? Do we know what made you or prompted you to eventually step out of that marriage, even though you say you want it as polygamy, to get married to Judy Austin, to be with Judy Austin? That do we know? Obviously, we don't know. We are not trying to claim that we know. We are not saying that we are all perfect. We are not saying we are all saints. We are not saying that we know what you were going through. No. But don't come out to lie and pretend. That's the thing. Don't try to fool us. If you were going through some issues in that marriage and it wasn't working as you expected it, or you felt bad, or you felt being nagged, or whatever it is that you feel it's not, that the feel that wasn't the, thing that you want for yourself. Probably you weren't feeling at home. It's okay. You can as well step out or find someone else like you did. But please, after you've taken that step, don't come out on social media and begin to talk and rant and talk foolish. That's the problem with us. We care less about your decision. It's your life with your partner, whoever is involved in it. We can't live your life for you. We have our own. So we can't sit down and keep our own life somewhere and begin to look at your own and say we want to leave it for you or dictate. No, it is you who drew us into it. And the manner at which you went about it is why we are talking. You engaged us. And I don't think it's a crime for you to get your response after you dragged us by force for about 3 months. Nobody mind you. You kept dragging, and now we are here. And you cannot tell us when to stop. Like and share this video, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next update.